We're here at NetApp Insight 2025 in Las Vegas. I'm James Thomason, Senior Technology Contributor at VentureBeat. The partnership between Cisco and NetApp is a 20-year collaboration that continues driving transformation through FlexPod AI, a comprehensive infrastructure stack addressing enterprise challenges and scaling AI workloads and achieving ROI. Joining me, we have Dallas Olson. He's Chief Commercial Officer at NetApp, leading NetApp's unified go-to-market strategy to drive growth and customer success. And we have Chris O'Brien, Senior Technical Marketing Director at Cisco, who leads the development of Cisco validated designs for AI, hybrid cloud, and data-intensive workloads. Gentlemen, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Chris, Cisco and NetApp have been partners for 20 years. What makes this partnership uniquely positioned to drive innovation within enterprise IT?
Well, FlexPod AI actually came out of our FlexPod program, which is part of our Cisco validated design program, so program on program. But with FlexPod, it is a very close collaboration between Cisco and NetApp at every single layer, at executive layers, product management, and engineering. And so we do these very detailed and heavily vetted and validated solutions in the lab together to make sure that when a customer gets it, one, it works, so there's minimized risk. Two, it accelerates their time to value and to outcome, and allows them to adopt the solution to move forward quickly. What happens is with FlexPod AI, this use case now has just exploded. We're introducing all new storage platforms, networking platforms, dense GPU platforms to the table, but we're bringing all that goodness surrounding it. And that's what really FlexPod AI is. And so when I look at where we're going to go, obviously things are going to evolve and change. It's really wrapped into the validation between the companies, and that's where it really becomes then it becomes real on your in your data center.
Dallas, how does FlexPod AI relieve the pressure enterprises are facing today to realize ROI from their AI investments?
Yeah, it's a great question. Look, the challenge is for customers managing and scaling AI workloads, right? And there's many stages across that process. One, let's remember AI servers are very expensive. Customers are relying on their existing infrastructure and they're using cloud along the way to try and bring this to life. I think that, managing the different stages of the AI journey can be very challenging. Now, what does this solution do? What does FlexPod do? I think that it allows us to avoid some of the biggest challenges in AI deployments, which are, inefficiencies, increased complexity, and then ultimately an AI project failure. So what's most impressive, in my opinion, of the FlexPod, in addition to what Chris had mentioned, is that it helps the customer manage the entire life cycle, right? The process from start to finish, from model training to inferencing along the entire pathway. So what's the outcome for customers? I think one, it allows them to accelerate an AI initiative. It improves performance. I think it provides a robust security capability. And then it allows customers to do this at an attainable price, which is always something very important. And I think it also allows them to use the tools that they're most familiar with along the way.
And as AI expands the attack surface, Chris, and raises the stakes for data protection, how are Cisco and NetApp responding to the increased priority of cybersecurity today?
So NetApp has a very storage-centric security posture that they bring to the table no matter what the workload is. And Cisco has a secure architecture that we integrate across our fabric and across our compute nodes within our unified computing platform. So when you take it to AI, and with Cisco now, we have new platforms that we're bringing to the table. We have our C885 platform, C880 platform, C845 platforms. These are all dense GPU platforms that allow you to address those challenges around training or fine tuning or inferencing at scale, distributing at scale. So from a security perspective, fundamentally, each one of these products brings its own level of security. But then with NetApp, they just announced the new data breach capabilities. So the data breach capabilities, is going to allow us to, one, through AI power, I think an industry first, detect a ransomware issue, and then two, allow you to isolate and then recover in a very clean fashion. Now, there's one thing around security, and we have things like AI defense and things like that for AI, but there's also Splunk. So Splunk Observability Cloud or Splunk Enterprise allows security teams to really get the data they need to make intelligent decisions. Maybe it'll be an agent someday, I don't know, an AI agent that's going to do it. Yep. But the intelligent decisions will be made through Splunk Observability. So we have things called dashboards. We're bringing those things and that capability to the table, through our programs.
Dallas, how does the use of Cisco Nexus 400 gigabit Ethernet switches in the new NetApp AFX systems represent NetApp and Cisco's broader vision for delivering a unified AI-ready data center infrastructure?
Yeah, I think the power of this combination is what makes it really, really exciting. We set a new standard in the industry for performance, scalability, and simplicity. I think what we're really excited about is disaggregated. So NetApp AFX introduces disaggregated storage architecture that allows independent scaling, performance, and capacity. Now on the Cisco side, the Nexus capability provides a really high throughput, a low latency networking capability that allows seamless movement, and also really fantastic GPU efficiency. So, look, both of these capabilities at the end of the day are essential to AI success. And I think that the outcome for the customer ultimately is, organizations can be confident that as they scale AI initiatives, they can reduce complexity, they can accelerate innovation and maintain a really robust security posture that Chris was just referring to, and gain operational efficiency. So we're very, very excited about the
Amazing. And Chris, how do you see AI and data infrastructure converging over the next decade as AI continues to reshape how enterprises think about their data?
I think everybody's here, especially, AI and data are one and the same, right? And it's also causing multiple copies, multiple formations of the same data. So there's a lot of stress on the system. And then, from a Cisco perspective, we see a lot of new traffic patterns and a lot of new performance requirements that are going to be brought to the table. So, and that also resonates now to the compute itself, right? It's one thing to have data. Now you got to do something. You got to, churn through it, as we say. So bringing the GPU and the data together is a real opportunity through our fabric that we're going to take advantage of. So what I really see happening is you're going to see more agentic frameworks, more agents within applications and within workloads. So all these touch points are going to start coming together, which means there's no separate AI decision anymore. It's more like, what's the right decision? How do I modernize my infrastructure to move to that next stage? It's going to be all one and the same. So when you look at what FlexPod and what Cisco and NetApp have brought together over the years, we've always thought about performance. Enterprise class, it's got to be there. Well, we'll bring it to AI. We got to have a reliable system, 9 nines, 5 nines, whatever you want to say. It's got to be up and available. So it's got to scale and be flexible. And I think that's where we got our name FlexPod, was the fact that you want to right size the infrastructure for the requirements. And that's part of the scaling story that AFX brings to the table. We're bringing the same thing in terms of our network bandwidth, 400, 800 gig, whatever you need. Spine leaf architecture, whatever scale, compute density GPUs. So all these things coming together means that infrastructure choices that you make today are going to be your AI choices of the future. Yeah, obviously, we all live with technical debt, but we want to make the right decisions moving forward. And I think, Cisco and NetApp can really, point you in the right direction. And I think we always have. Yeah.
Dallas, looking ahead to the next 1 to 3 years, how does NetApp envision its role in sharing AI-ready enterprise data workloads in more demanding and cloud-native environments?
Yeah, I love this question, and we are very, very excited about the future. One thing I also love about this partnership is the long history that we've had together, and it's really exciting for me, Chris. As I think about what we can do together, I always remind myself about the challenge that's out there with AI for our customers. Look, one, there is a massive amount of unstructured data that's out there. It's just massive. I think customers also face organizational bottlenecks and challenges as they try and steer through their own companies managing AI. And then lastly, the security risks and threats are ever present, and they're really, really severe. And so when you think about how tough it is to try and drive AI for our customers, that's what makes, I think, this partnership so powerful, is that we're trying to drive simplicity. Chris talked about the simplicity of FlexPod and the flexibility that it offers. And I think at NetApp, we talk about intelligent data infrastructure and how that simplifies data management and maximizing performance for our customers. I think ultimately, look, the bottom line is that there are a lot of algorithms out there, and algorithms are only as good as the data that feeds them. And I think in order to really drive an outcome there, you have to have a strong, thoughtful data strategy. And I always think about, what's the best way to come up with a data strategy? And I think about the history that we have together and what we can provide to customers. And ultimately, it's that with NetApp and Cisco together, one, IT environments are very broad and very complex, and our partnership gives customers confidence to navigate that complexity. I also think that we believe that we're uniquely positioned with our expertise to truly help them through this journey, and that our innovation. You talked about the history of FlexPod and our innovation here with what we're doing now and talking about today. That innovation is incredibly powerful, and it's going to make AI more simple. And I'll close with, look, together, I think that we can guide and support our customers in a way that no one can in the industry. And that enduring partner for a customer is really important and very powerful.
Awesome.
Completely.
Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us today. And thank you, audience, for attending. For more stories on the AI revolution, subscribe to our newsletters and check out VBN Conversation videos at VentureBeat.com.